more on this. Christopher Burgess joins us. He's the CEO of Prevendra and the voice of senior online safety. Joining me from Seattle. Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the show. Look,
thank you, Phil.
This is a very complicated topic, and I'm going to try to simplify it, so forgive me. First of all, who is doing this? Is it companies that were worried about hacking between companies, or is it people hacking companies, or is it government people hacking individuals? What's the biggest issue here?
The answer is yes. It's all of the above. So you have the organized criminal elements, you have nation states, you have companies that have leaped over the transom of ethical behavior. All of that is in the mix here. And so I think this cybersecurity summit is a great idea. I applaud the president for doing it.
It's a great idea, but you heard me and Mark talking about it before. Facebook, Yahoo, Google, shouldn't they be there? I mean, I know they got issues with the NSA stuff, but shouldn't they at least be in the room to discuss this?
But Phil, they were there. They were there. They participated. They sent their CISOs and CSOs to participate in the CSO workshop, the one that concluded at 1900 Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific Time today. So they sent in their worker bees. Their C-level executive focused on information security. I agree. The CSO or the CEOs could have made a show, but my interpretation is they sent in the people who put the nose to the grindstone.
Can we put the NSA controversy to bed, or is this just always going to be with us now, this distrust, if you will?
I think you hit it right on the nose there, Phil, the trust aspect. Because the NSA controversy, what it did was it illuminated for everyone around the globe the fact that nations have intelligence apparatuses, and that includes a signals intelligence feature, and that every nation is doing this in protecting their national interest. Here in the United States, we have much more transparency than elsewhere in the world. And thus, we have thrust ourselves into the limelight. I think it's time that we put it behind us, but what it has done, it has created a factoid that it has to be factored into every business, that if you are dealing with consumer information, or if your clientele are providing you with their personal information, you need to make sure that your architecture protects that information.
Can I sue? Can I sue somebody? If let's say Anthem, for example. I give my information to them. They
Absolutely.
get hacked.
Yep.
My information gets sold to whoever. I'm hurt.
Absolutely. You're not alone. Every tax-paying citizen in the state of South Carolina had the same thing when their tax database got hacked. Information that is provided needs to be protected. I'm a small business owner, and I have a product that has a high security factor. We call it Red Folder. And what we did is we architected the encryption and security into it using the paradigm of trust no one, so that we could never access the customer's data.
All right.
In Anthem, they can't do that because they need to access that data.
I'm all for companies like you trying to protect people like us. I'm 100% for that. No one's against it. But here's the problem is, with all the technology and all the money and all the intelligence you and all your colleagues in the technology world have on this, why can't you guys stop the hacking?
You can never stop the hacking because technology evolves, and it's a matter of resources. So there will always be the companies that don't have the resources to protect themselves, or choose not to apply those resources to protect themselves, that will be vulnerable. It's a moving dial and a moving, if you will, target. The well-funded organized criminal elements have those MBAs and PhDs too. And they are putting them to test and looking for the weakest link in the equation.
Okay, fair enough. If the White House calls you after this interview and says, all right, Christopher, what do you want us to do?
I'm there. I want you to be transparent. I want you to share information for the small business person all the way up to the large enterprises on how to protect ourselves and what the real threats are out there. What are the cyber emergency response teams seeing, not just in the US, but around the globe where they have liaison? What can I do to protect myself? In that, what can I afford to do to protect myself? And I can't afford to do it. Where is the exchange that I can get that protection that's outside the scope of my small business? Can
I just assume, this is a silly question, can I just assume I've got 1,000 passwords, I forgot most of them. Why even bother? Look, if you guys are going to hack all my stuff anyways, you already have it all. I mean, let's not even have passwords at all. What's the point?
Well, I agree with you that passwords are a pain in the butt. But passwords are just one factor, and we're going well beyond passwords. If any application today that takes in personal information is not using a second form of authentication, shame on them. Technology is there to do that. We talked about it today in the Cyber Summit. They talked about using multi-factor authentication. That's where we need to go. We also need to make sure that we are using passwords only once. Yeah, it's a pain. But if you use a password a second time in conjunction with your email, then what you're saying is, I entrust the company that does the security the worst.
I get it. You're going to make all of our lives a lot more difficult, bottom line. So you're going to take my finger in my face. All right,
security
Christopher Burgess,
is not
we're out of time.
convenient.
I'm sorry. I'm getting yelled at by my producer. We're out of time. It's good to see you from Seattle. Thank you very much.
You bet, Phil.
We turn
Come
our
back
focus
soon.
to